Picture this: a stealth fighter racing across the Arabian Sea at supersonic speed. Its target? An Iranian drone closing in on America's most powerful warship. The pilot has seconds to decide. That's just one of the 9 explosive stories we're breaking down today, February 7th, 2026. From Harvard getting canceled by the Pentagon to missiles streaking across the Pacific, the next 9 minutes will show you exactly how American military power is being reshaped right now. I'm talking billion-dollar contracts, classified spending that Congress can't see, and boat strikes that international lawyers are calling war crimes. Let's get into it. Yesterday, February 6th, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth did something unprecedented in modern American history. He completely severed all military ties with Harvard University. Not reduced, not reviewed, gone. Here's what's ending. Effective 2026 to 27 school year. All graduate military education programs, every fellowship, all certificate programs. Zero Pentagon funding. Now here's where it gets wild. Hegseth himself has a Harvard degree, Master's in Public Policy from the Kennedy School, and in 2022, he literally mailed it back to them on live television. Wrote "Return to Sender" on the diploma with a Sharpie. His exact words yesterday.
Too long, this department has sent our best and brightest officers to Harvard, hoping the university would better understand and appreciate our warrior class. Instead, too many of our officers came back looking too much like Harvard. Heads full of globalist and radical ideologies.
The Pentagon's official statement used the word woke 6 times. Current students can finish, everyone else? Find a new school. And Hegseth says other Ivy League programs are under evaluation. Princeton, Yale, Colombia, you're all on notice. This is the first time the Pentagon has completely cut academic ties with an elite American university since ever. We're in uncharted territory. February 3rd, Arabian Sea, 500 miles off Iran's southern coast. The USS Abraham Lincoln, one of America's nuclear-powered supercarriers, is cruising through international waters. 6,000 sailors and Marines on board. Then radar picks up an Iranian Shahed drone. Combat radius, 1,200 miles. Payload capacity, 220 pounds of explosives. It's heading straight for the Lincoln. Aggressively approaching with unclear intent. That's the official Pentagon language. U.S. forces tried de-escalation measures. Warning signals, radio calls. The drone doesn't deviate. An F-35C Lightning II from Marine Fighter Attack Squadron 314, the Black Knights launches from the deck. The pilot closes in. Target locked, missile away. Boom. Drone destroyed. 0 American casualties. But here's the kicker. Hours later, 2 Iranian Revolutionary Guard boats and another drone try to seize a U.S.-flagged tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. The destroyer USS McFall responds with air cover. Iran backs off. Iranian state media says the Shahed successfully completed its reconnaissance mission before mysteriously losing contact. Sure it did. This happens just days before scheduled diplomatic talks between the U.S. and Iran. Trump's strategy? Send warships while talking peace. The message is clear. We'll negotiate, but we're loading the guns while we do it. February 6th, Eastern Pacific Ocean. U.S. Southern Command announces 2 more people killed in the latest boat strike. Total deaths since September 2025. 128 people across 36 strikes. The Pentagon calls them narco-terrorists. They provide 0 evidence. Here's what we know for certain. At least 38 vessels destroyed. First strike was September 1st. 202511 people killed. Follow-up strikes on survivors, clinging to wreckage. Watchdog group Air Wars is tracking every incident. International law experts calling this extrajudicial killing. Democratic senators. No legitimate legal justification. UN human rights experts. Potential violations of international law. Colombian and Venezuelan governments. Murder. The White House response? Designated narco-terrorists bringing deadly poison to our shores. But there's something they're not telling you. The pace of strikes has dropped dramatically since January 3rd when U.S. forces captured Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro. Only 2 strikes since then. Why? Because the operation was never really about drugs. This story is getting almost zero mainstream coverage, and that should terrify you. Pop quiz. Where did $60 billion in defense spending go? Congress doesn't know, and that's the problem. Here's the setup. Last July, Trump signed a reconciliation bill appropriating $150 billion for national security. The Pentagon submitted a spending plan for $90 billion, fully classified. But the other $60 billion? Complete mystery. Senator Jeff Merkley, ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee, just sent a letter to Hegseth with 4 critical questions. Why was the spending plan classified? What specific programs received funding? Were funds used for purposes not authorized by law? Did you pay troops during the shutdown with this money? Oh, and that $1,776 warrior dividend bonus to 4 million service members? Yeah, Congress wants to know if that came from the mystery fund too. Deadline for response, February 20th. Meanwhile, Trump is floating a $500 billion defense budget increase, spiking the total to $1.5 trillion. House Armed Services Chairman Mike Rogers is already seeking $450 billion in the next reconciliation bill. We're watching the largest peacetime defense expansion in American history, and Congress can't even see where the money's going. Remember when Trump blasted RTX in January? Called them least responsive defense contractor? Well, February 4th just proved that pressure works. RTX announced 5 major framework agreements with the Pentagon. The numbers are insane. 1,000 plus Tomahawk cruise missiles annually, at least 1,900 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles, 500 plus SM-6 multi-mission missiles, increased SM-3 ballistic missile interceptors. Some production lines will quadruple capacity. Total investment, $3.1 billion in facility upgrades. Timeline, up to 7 years. Why does this matter? U.S. stockpiles are being drained support to Ukraine, Middle East operations, and preparing for potential conflict with China in the Indo-Pacific. The new maritime strike variant of the Tomahawk, that's specifically designed to sink Chinese warships at 1,000 plus mile range. Trump's pressure campaign on defense contractors? Working exactly as intended. From public criticism to massive production surge in 1 month. That's how you negotiate. February 5th, 2026. Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Something remarkable happened. The United States and Russia agreed to restore high-level military communications for the first time since fall 2021, right before the Ukraine invasion. General Alexis Grinkowicz from U.S. European Command met with senior Russian military leaders during trilateral talks that also included Ukraine. They're establishing consistent military-to-military contact. Why now? Because the same day, February 5th, the New START nuclear treaty expired. This was the last major arms control agreement between the U.S. and Russia. We are now in uncharted territory, zero nuclear weapons oversight for the first time since the Cold War. Trump's calling for a new, improved, and modernized treaty, potentially including China this time.